Hi everybody, over the next bunch of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to create an amazing looking functional body with safe and sensible movements, suitable for the whole family, particularly if you're over the age of 40 and you want to get into the same shape you were in when you were in your 20s. If you've ever enjoyed my videos or felt that they've helped you, could you please do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button? It helps me more than you know, and the bigger this channel gets, the more time I can put into helping you get that amazing new body. Now today I'm using 50-pound dumbbells for my heavies, 35 pounds for my mediums, and 20 pounds for my light dumbbells. This doesn't mean that you should try to lift the same as me. Please choose your weights carefully based on your strength and fitness level, as well as your experience working with dumbbells. Now, that's enough talking from me. Let's get started with today's workout.
This exercise is a chest press and chest fly combination. Make sure you start off with your lower back pinned against the bench so that it's nice and flat and protected. When you go into your chest press, make sure you drop those dumbbells nice and wide until the head of the dumbbell touches your chest. Then finish back at the top, and then with neutral hands go into your chest fly, but make sure you don't exceed a 180-degree straight line. Keep your arms nice and long, soft straight at your elbows. This exercise is a shoulder press and biceps curl combination. Now I'm sitting on the bench facing you guys just so that I'm facing the camera and you can see what I'm doing. But if you prefer to throw one leg on each side of the bench, that's okay as well. The main thing to watch for during the biceps curl is that you can see my elbows are tucked in by my ribs and they're not moving during my biceps curl, and working all the way up into that Arnold press. Make sure there's no swinging of your torso throughout the set. This exercise is a right leg split squat. So you can see I've gone into a relatively lengthy stance. My weight is on my front leg and I'm on the ball of the back foot. I want to try and drop straight down the middle with my upper body nice and vertical. I also want to make sure that my knee doesn't push past my toes. So the more static you can keep that front shin bone, the better. Maintain your posture and keep looking in front of you. This is a left leg split squat. Same as your right side, make sure you start off with a lengthy lunge stance. Make sure your weight's on your front leg. Now, as you drop down, get your back knee towards the floor, only an inch off, and then come up until your back leg is extended. So this is not about extending your front leg, it's about extending your back leg. We're working on your quads on the front leg and we're working on your glutes on the back leg. Lying down on your back with your feet flat on the floor and hitting some press crunches. So it's a vertical press of the dumbbell as though you're trying to put an imprint of the dumbbell on your ceiling. And the crunch is a rolling motion. So we're not hinging and using our hips to lift into a sit-up. We're minimizing the hips movement and just rolling into a crunch. This is a lot less chest and triceps and a lot more of an abs exercise, particularly in your upper abs. This exercise is a dumbbell Russian twist from a seated position, and you can see I'm adding some high presses into that as well. Now, when you're in your seated position, make sure your chest proud, make sure your knees are bent, and make sure you're not putting too much weight on your tailbone. So it's best to sit on your butt cheeks rather than sitting on your tailbone. To maximize the twist, make sure your head moves with your body. So the best place to look when you're doing your Russian twist is, in fact, looking at your dumbbell. This exercise is a Romanian deadlift into a row. So start with your feet parallel at shoulder width, drop down into the RDL with the dumbbells in front of your shin, and then lift up into a bent over row, making sure your elbows remain tight and your back remains flat. Then stand up into a natural posture with neutral hands and start the combination from the beginning. This is a weighted glutes bridge with a pulse at the top of the glutes bridge. You can see I'm using a heavy weight. You can see I'm going all the way to the top of the glutes bridge. The mistake some people make is they use that first pulse as a stepping stone and push higher on the second one. I want you to push all the way up on both pulses. Keep your feet parallel at shoulder width, keep your neck rested, and keep looking at the ceiling throughout the exercise. I want a really good contraction in your erectors, in your glutes, and in your hamstring as well. This exercise is a wide chest press and a narrow chest press combination. Make sure you start off with your back flat on the bench or flat on the floor if you're not using a bench today. If you find your back arches up, you can actually lift your feet and place it on the bench instead. Work full range of chest presses and then bring those dumbbells together for your close grip narrow press and make sure they're staying together the whole time. Your elbows are wide during the wide press and your elbows are tucked in by your ribs during the narrow press.
Don't know what it is that made us so indifferent. We're drifting in the dark. Can we do better? Wish I could rewind back to the start. Can we do better than this? Better. You got me high and drop me low. You got that's something I can seem to let go. This love is ill. I wish that it was different. Don't know what it is that made us so indifferent. We're drifting in the dark. Can we do better? Wish I could rewind back to the start. Can we do better than this? Better. You got me high, then drop me low. You got that's something I can seem to let go.
For this exercise, I'm going from a neutral shoulder press into some skull crushers. Make sure that you've got good weight distribution between your feet and your butt so that you're creating a triangular weight load. And then also make sure that you've got your chest proud and your upper body is nice and secure and that it doesn't swing back and forth. Keeping this whole exercise range in that neutral hand position basically means that you're not messing around with your wrist, which is fantastic. This exercise is a leaning side squat and we're alternating lefts and rights. Ultimately what I'm doing here is I'm moving to one side as I perform a good morning. So it's a hinge of the hip, leaning forward with your chest down as I move to one side. Now, the side I'm moving away from has to keep a straight knee. And you can see my stance is wide and my feet are parallel with my toes pointing forward the whole time. Don't allow your feet to V out. Make sure your toes remain facing forward. Exercise is a commando plank. So we're starting on our hands and then dropping down to your elbows, one arm at a time. And we just want to try and make sure we keep our core engaged by tucking our tailbone in marginally and just having good control as far as the up-down motion is concerned. This is a great core exercise, but it's also a good chest and triceps exercise as well. And you're going to get some of it in the anterior of your shoulders too. This exercise is a twist and press from a standing position. You can see I'm keeping both the dumbbells together and that my elbows are tucked in the entire time. When you twist to the side, make sure you extend your arms and look at the direction that you're taking the dumbbells. Keep your knees soft and keep your hips nice and still. We don't want your hips bobbing back and forth at all. To stabilize, I'm keeping my feet wider than shoulder width, and it's a great solid base for this exercise. This is a Romanian deadlift into a T-row combination. Now you'll need to be moderate with your weights on this one because the T-row is much harder than the RDL. When you hinge forward, make sure that your back remains flat. Make sure that your feet are parallel at shoulder width and make sure your toes are pointing forward. When you drop down, look at the floor in front of you, and when you stand up, look directly in front of you so that your neck remains aligned with your upper body. This exercise is a glutes bridge and I'm alternating some sliders. So you can see I'm kicking out with one leg while keeping the glutes bridge nice and high. And the main focus is that I'm alternating legs, pressuring one side at a time as I'm keeping that glutes bridge as high as I can keep it. This is much harder than a traditional glutes bridge, so go with a medium sized dumbbell as opposed to a heavy one. See what I'm doing? I'm kind of correcting myself each time I finish with a slider and making sure that I'm pushing my hips all the way to the top. This is a biceps lift, biceps curl combination. Start standing up, your knees are soft, your feet are at shoulder width, and when you go to the biceps lift, it's a vertical lift of the dumbbell, so you've got to push your elbows back and look for that vertical lift. Conversely, when you're doing the biceps curl, make sure that your elbows remain static and it's a curl in front of you. So we want to achieve at least 90 degrees, and we want to make sure that your elbows are right up against your ribs and they're not moving back and forth.
Shaking it just like this.
This exercise is a goblet squat with a calves raise. I'm doing this one with parallel feet at shoulder width. And you can see as I drop down, I make sure my elbows touch my thigh. Now, if your elbows push in front of your knees, then you're posturing forward too much. So make sure you make that correction. Another thing to watch out for is make sure your knees don't cave in. They've got to remain on top of your feet in order to protect your hips and to protect your knees as well. This exercise is neutral press and skull crusher combination. Lying on your bench or on the floor, making sure your lower back is pinned and flat. The idea with both exercises is that the arms work together and they remain parallel pretty much the whole time. Your elbows are tucked in by your ribs during your neutral press, and then the elbows remain static and it's just 90 degrees elbow flexion to get into the skull crushers. This exercise is a seated shoulder press into a pec deck motion. It's a fantastic mobility exercise for your shoulders in particular, and it'll do an excellent job not just in your shoulders, but in your triceps and also in your traps and rhomboids as well. You can see I'm coming down into that parallel arm position, similar to football posts, and then I'm rotating forward, trying to get those dumbbells together, and then pushing back out before I go into my shoulder press. This exercise combines goblet squats with reverse lunges. So I'll do a goblet squat with my feet parallel, making sure that my elbows reach my thighs, and then I'll step back into a reverse lunge, making sure it's nice and lengthy and making sure I'm maintaining my posture as well, and then simply alternating one after the other. The best place to look is right in front of you, and this will help with maintaining your posture. These are jackknife crunches. I'm using a light dumbbell to give me some added resistance. My feet are together, my arms are together, everything is nice and long, and you can see the dumbbell reaching my shins with every repetition. Now, when you stretch out, make sure your lower back remains flat. If you find that when you're in the long horizontal position, if your back is arching up, then shorten your range of movement.
Closer. I can't stop bleeding. If you gon' lead, then gon' lead just like everybody else. If you don't like my company, then I'll do life by myself. Girl, you're low like a drug, it ain't good for my health. Even though it's killing me, girl, I love you to death. I only want you. I only want you, yeah. I only want you. Closer, closer to you, pull me closer. Closer to you, pull me closer. Closer to you, pull me closer. Don't push me away, don't push me away. Closer to you, pull me closer. Closer to you, pull me closer. Closer to you, pull me closer. Don't push me away, don't push me away.
This is an obliques tilt and hammer biceps curl combination. Start with your legs wide, so your feet should be at shoulder width or marginally wider, your toes are pointing forward, your knees are soft, and your hips are stationary. Tilt to one side, try and go past your knee if you can. Go into the hammer curls without moving your elbows. The upper part of your arm should remain stationary throughout. You can see there's no twisting of the wrist whatsoever, so my hands are remaining neutral the whole time. This exercise is a Russian row and we're doing it standing in that bent over position. Once you hinge forward, make sure that your back remains flat throughout the whole set. Keep your feet parallel at shoulder width, making sure your toes are pointing forward. Start the row with extended arms. Then lift by pushing one of the heads of the dumbbell and bringing it over to your waistline on the opposite side. Go back to your stretch and then alternate and recreate the same movement on the other side.
If I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't tell all that the Lord has done for me. Done for me.
For this exercise, I'm starting in 4 points position on the floor, making sure my hands and my knees are at shoulder width. Everything's nice and square, nice and parallel. And then I'm going into a donkey kick as though I'm trying to put the imprint of my shoe on the ceiling. I'm making sure that I've locked the dumbbell to the back of my knees by having really good knee flexion. And then I'm going into a fire hydrant by rotating lateral 90 degrees and focusing on pushing the hips out. Okay, we're on the left side of that donkey kick fire hydrant combination. Make sure that your elbows remain soft. Make sure your back remains flat. Make sure you're keeping your heels tight, pushing towards your butt the whole time. And so this will keep the dumbbell in place and it'll keep the contraction in your posterior going. Look for good range of motion, both in the donkey kicks and the fire hydrant as well.
different. Don't know what it is that made us so indifferent. We're drifting in the dark. Can we do better? Wish I could rewind back to the start. Can we do better than this? Better. You got me high, then drop me low. You got there's something I can seem to let go. You got me high, then drop me low. You got there's something I can seem to let go.
These are some dynamic biceps curls. So ultimately, it's a reverse curl and a traditional curl rolled into the same repetition. Start with your knees soft, make sure your hips are nice and heavy, your chest proud, and there's no movement in your upper body at all. Now, you can see when I hit the curl, I'm twisting 180 degrees or so at the top only. So whichever way the dumbbells hit the bottom, they go up in the same way. So the only rotation is at the top and nothing at the bottom. This exercise is a triceps Tate press into a traditional wide chest press. You can do this on the bench or on the floor if you don't have a bench at your disposal. The most important thing here is to make sure you keep your lower back flat. So if you find that your back is arching up, then put your feet up on the bench. Keep the dumbbells together when you hit your Tate press. And then make sure you get the head of the dumbbell all the way down to your chest when you're doing your wide press. These are sumo prancers, and you can see I'm starting the exercise in a low sumo squat position. My toes are pointing out 45 degrees. My thighs are almost horizontal. If you can get it close to horizontal, then that's ideal. And there's no bobbing up and down as far as my motion is concerned. So if you look at my head, it's remaining static throughout the whole set. If you can do this exercise facing a mirror, that's ideal because you can watch yourself and make sure that you maintain the same height. This exercise is a rotating press and it's fantastic for your triceps, for your shoulders, and for your chest as well. So you can see there's a complete 180-degree rotation as I do the presses. When you're in the low position, your elbows are tucked in by your ribs, and when you're in the higher position, your arms are extended and your dumbbells are together. Inhale as you drop the dumbbell down, and exhale as you push it back up.
Say so, I can't say no. Baby, can you just stay another night? Keep you close, don't go home. Baby, can you just stay another night? If you say so, I can't say no. Baby, can you just stay another night? Keep you close, don't go home. Baby, can you just stay another night? Too many nights spent lonely in this bed. You're all I want. To keep me warm, wish you were here instead. I'm all alone. If you say so, I can't say no. Baby, can you just stay another night? Keep you close, don't go home. Baby, can you just stay another night?
Front raise and lateral raise combination, seated on the bench, but you could do this one standing if you like. I like doing it seated on the bench because it stops you from using any momentum and using a whole lot of core strength. So it's a great way of isolating your shoulders, hitting those lateral delts during your lateral raise, and then the anterior of your delts during the front raise. You're going to get it in your traps as well. Make sure that you keep your elbows soft straight throughout the whole exercise and that you don't shorten your movement. This exercise is a sumo squat with a kettle swing. Start with your feet wide with your toes pointing out 45 degrees. Make sure when you drop low, you've got your knees wide and try to maintain your posture the whole time. My front swing is completely controlled. You can see that. So I'm adding shoulders elements to what would otherwise be a thighs and glutes exercise. Engaging your core will allow you to control your swing a lot better. And make sure you keep looking in front of you and maintaining the vertical upper body posture. This exercise is a weighted cross body crunch. You can see the dumbbell start on my chest, and as I crunch up, I'm using my arms to reach my opposite knee. Make sure your lower back is flat the whole time. Make sure your feet are grounded with your knees bent the way I have mine. And as you come up to each crunch, tuck your chin in and look at your knees, and that's going to help save your neck. Remember, this type of crunch is a rolling action and not a hinge. This is an obliques tilt and a single-sided lateral raise combination. Again, like most oblique tilts, I'm starting with wide straight legs, tilting to one side without bending your knees, keeping the arms nice and long, and then lateral raise by keeping your hand pronated and getting to at least that horizontal position, one side at a time, and then of course putting those oblique tilts in between your lateral raises. This is a right side row with a kickback complex. Start using your bench in that 3-point position. Make sure your back's nice and flat. Make sure you're well supported by your legs. Lift up into a row, and once you get into the top position, go into a triceps kickback and then return into that row before starting your next repetition. Now we're going to complete the entire exercise on the right side first before we shift over and do it on our left. This exercise is a left side row with your kickback. Again, looking for a flat back in that 3 points position. Make sure your stance is wide enough to support you. And you can see what I'm doing with my support hand. It's hanging over at the edge of the bench, so this is going to protect your wrist. Another thing to watch out for is make sure your support elbow doesn't lock up, so we've got to keep it soft straight. These are little protective mechanisms to keep you safe throughout the exercise.
I've been thinking about you, boy. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about is. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about is.
This exercise is a Romanian deadlift with a minor torso twist at the bottom. So I'm dropping the dumbbell in front of one shin by creating a little bit of a twist in the hips. And then I come back up, squeezing my glutes, squeezing my erectors, and then alternating towards the other side. Try to keep your back as flat as you can by pushing your tailbone out marginally. You want to feel a really good stretch in your hamstrings, and you want your erectors engaged. Slow, controlled movement is the key.
You say so, I can't say no. Baby, can you just stay another night? Keep you close, don't go home. Baby, can you just stay another night? If you say so, I can't say no. Baby, can you just stay another night? Keep you close, don't go home. Baby, can you just stay another night?
This exercise combines biceps curls and Arnold presses in the same repetition. Make sure that your knees are soft and your hips are nice and heavy so there's no back and forth swing, and then complete that full range of motion. Now I'm going to drop to my knees just so that I can frame up the exercise so you can see my movement. So I'm starting with neutral hands at the bottom. Then I switch to an Arnold press. Go all the way to the top. Make sure the dumbbells touch so that you're getting full range of motion, and then start your repetition from the beginning again. This exercise is a lying skull crusher into some reverse pullovers. I'm lifting my head and shoulder blades when I do the reverse pullover, and this will give me a really good contraction in my abs, and it'll stop me from pressuring my lower back. Then when you go into the skull crushers, you can rest your head and make sure that your elbow remains positionally static, and it's just some elbow flexion, getting those dumbbells to your shoulders. So we don't want the elbow swinging back and forth when you do your skull crushers.
Keep you safe and sound. Dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. I will keep you safe and sound. Dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. I will keep you safe and sound. I just need a reason. I just need to know what's on your mind. Tell me what you're needing. You can call my name, I'll be around. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, da, da. I will keep you safe and sound. Dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, dum, da, da. I will keep you safe and sound. Dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da. Dum, dum, the sky is falling. Dum, dum, da, da.
These are ballet calves raises, or plies if you like. Your heels are close together and your toes are pointing out 45 degrees. Lift all the way to the ball of your foot without pushing your hips back and forth. So really important to make sure you keep that vertical posture from your ankle all the way to your shoulders. Now you can go nice and heavy with this one. Putting your paws at the top of the exercise is going to give you that extra calves flexion. So it's important to do that. And by looking directly in front of you, you know that your neck is aligned with your upper body. This exercise is a neutral press and a reverse pullover combination. Very important to have your lower back flat and pinned against your bench or pinned against the floor if you're not using a bench today. Make sure your arms remain parallel during your neutral press. And again, keep them parallel and keep your elbows soft straight during your reverse pullover. Now you can see I've got my head and shoulder blades lifted. This is going to ensure that my lower back is pinned against the bench, and it's also engaging my abs as well. is an upright lift and a Y raise combination. Again, another really good one for your shoulders and your traps. You can do this leaning ever so slightly forward in a seated position, or you can do it standing if you don't like it seated. When you do your upright lift, make sure you're lifting with your elbows, but you're also lifting with your shoulders. So there should be a shrug action to it as well. And when you go to your Y lift, make sure that your arms are extended and that you've got soft, straight elbows. This is a sumo squat with an added calves raise at the top of the exercise. Starting the sumo squats with your legs wide and your toes pointing out 45 degrees, making sure when you're dropping low, you're keeping your knees wide and getting a really good contraction of your glutes on the way up. Once you get to the top of the squat, lift all the way up to the ball of your feet, get a good calves and glutes engagement, and bring your heels slowly back down to the ground before going on to your next repetition. This exercise is a weighted frog leg crunch. By pushing my knees apart and putting my feet together in that position, I'm disengaging my hips and I'm getting maximum use of my abs. Like all crunches, this is a rolling action and not a hinge. Your lower back should remain connected to the floor the whole time and it should never arch up. Tuck your chin in as you roll into the crunch and rest your head once your upper body is in that horizontal position. Exhaling as you crunch, inhaling as you return back to the floor. This is an obliques tilt and a biceps curl combination. Start with your feet past your shoulders and making sure your knees are straight for this one. Your toes are pointing forward and your hips are remaining nice and still. So there is no bobbing back and forth with your hips. Tilt to the side only and really look for that flexion in your obliques. And we're alternating those with some biceps curls in between them. And they're starting neutral at the bottom and then 90-degree twist at the top without adjusting your elbow position. This is the traditional row T-row combination from that bent over position. But you can see we're not moving back up into a standing position at all. We're doing the entire set, hinging forward, making sure you're engaging your erectors by pushing your tailbone out and lengthening your hamstrings while contracting your erectors. Your traditional row is with neutral hands and your elbows are tight by your ribs. Your T-row is wide with your elbows flaring out. This exercise is a right arm triceps kickback. Start in that 3 points position. Make sure your legs are wide enough to give you stability. And you can see that my hand is on the edge of the bench. By having your fingers pushing over the edge, this is going to relieve your wrist. So it's going to take the pressure off your wrist. Make sure you tuck your elbow by your ribs and try to keep it as static as you can keep it when you throw those kickbacks out. Keep looking down on the floor in front of you to keep your neck aligned with your upper body. Now we're doing some left side tricep kickbacks. So set yourself up in that same 3 points position on the opposite side. Make sure your support elbow remains soft. Make sure that your fingers are overhanging on the edge of the bench so that you're supporting your wrist. And again, bring your active elbow all the way up to your ribs, and this will be your starting position. Kick back until you've got a horizontal arm, and then release slowly with ample control. This exercise is an Arnold thruster. So it's a combination of a front squat and you're doing an Arnold press when you're in that standing position. This is a fantastic compound exercise and it works a whole bunch of muscles, guys. I'm doing it with feet at shoulder width. Everything's nice and parallel. The knees are on top of my feet so they're not caving in or they're not pushing out. My hips are remaining still when I hit those Arnold presses. So I'm not pushing with my hips forward or aggravating my lower back. During this exercise, I am alternating between close grip chest presses and weighted abs crunches. So you can see I'm going from one to the other. Now it's very important to have your lower back pinned against your bench or against the floor if you're not using a bench today. You can see I've got my feet lifted off the ground and it's sitting on my bench, and this is going to further amplify the protection in my back to make sure it doesn't arch up. Good extension on the presses, then drop the dumbbell to your chest and go into your crunch. This exercise is a fantastic shoulders mobility exercise, and it's a halo with a horizontal press combination. I'm doing this one standing. Now the trick is to make sure that the halo goes all the way around your head. And so this requires great range of motion in your shoulders. Then you press forward and you're working on the anterior of your shoulders, but you're also working on your core simultaneously. Make sure your knees remain soft and make sure your hips remain steady in position.
Safe and sound.
This is a weighted variation of an abs tuck crunch. Start with your legs extended with a 45-degree elevation from your hip to your foot. You can see my toes are pointy, the weight of the dumbbell is on my thighs, and then I'm tucking my legs into that reverse crunch, making sure that my lower back remains connected to the floor and that my head and shoulder blades are lifted, both to give me ample contraction in my abs and to help protect my back as well. This exercise is an oblique tilt combined with some Romania deadlifts. Starting with your feet marginally wider than shoulder width, making sure your knees remain straight, your toes are pointing forward, and your hips are nice and heavy. Get to those oblique tilts on one side, making sure that you're not bending your knees during the tilt. Once you come up, drop forward into your RDL, keeping your hamstrings extended by pushing your tailbone out and making sure that your erectors in your lower back remain contracted. Start this exercise bent over forward with a hinged hip, and let's combine some T rows with some crucifix flies. Make sure that your back remains flat, and then when you're going into your T row, your forearm should be parallel at the top, creating a straight horizontal line from elbow to elbow. When you work your crucifix fly, make sure your arms are extended and the rotation only comes from your shoulder. This is a great contraction of your scapula. This exercise is a squat and good morning combination. Start with your feet parallel at shoulder width, go into a nice deep squat and make sure that your elbows connect with your thighs. Then come back up, keep your knees soft straight and go into a hinge with a flat back. So it's important to push your tailbone out marginally, stretch those hamstrings and make sure you're protecting your back. As you hinge forward, look on the floor in front of you, and as you stand back up, look directly in front of you so that your neck remains aligned with your upper body.
It's too late. Now it's too late. Now it's too late. I can see the shadows look like you. I gotta forget, find something new. There's no going back for you and I. Cause now it's too late, too late, too late, too late, now it's too late, too late, too late, now it's too late. Now it's too late. Now it's too late.
For this exercise, we're doing some advanced alternate biceps curls. And the reason it's advanced is you start the biceps curl in a high isometric hold. This is much harder than doing your biceps curls one at a time. Make sure your elbows remain still by your side and make sure the static side is about 2/3 of the way up. If you go all the way up, you almost negate the isometric hold, so watch for that. And the other thing that people tend to do notoriously is moving their hips back and forth to create momentum. So let's make sure we're not doing that.
You've been blaming me, ooh yeah, baby, baby. Lately I've been trying, ooh yeah, baby, baby. You've been blaming me, ooh yeah, baby, baby. Lately I've been trying, ooh yeah, baby, baby. You've been blaming me, ooh yeah, baby, baby. Lately I've been trying, ooh yeah, baby, baby. You've been blaming me, ooh yeah, baby, baby. Lately I've been trying.
For this exercise, let's go up into a high glutes bridge and we'll work our prances from there. So ultimately, it's one calves raise at a time while maintaining your high glutes bridge. Now, this is weighted with a heavy dumbbell. So you'll get that really good contraction in your erectors, in your lower back, in your glutes and your hamstrings while you're working those alternate calves raises. This exercise is a Russian press. Start with your lower back pinned against your bench and your head and shoulder blades lifted, again protecting your back and making sure that your abs are engaged. My feet are at shoulder width. You can have them marginally wider if you want extra stability. And you can see both the dumbbells are staying together, extending out into the press and then going to the other side. Try and get a good shoulder twist at the bottom, and this will fully activate your core, particularly your intercostals. This exercise is a neutral front raise into some skull crushes. You can do this exercise seated on the bench, or you can do it standing if you prefer. The trick is to have ample control both on the way up and on the way down as well. So swing the arms up into a front raise and then keep the motion going by creating that elbow flexion at the top and going into your skull crushes. Make sure your arms remain parallel the whole time and make sure you're controlling the way up and the way down.
Is it really you?
we're working some alternate obliques tilts from that overhead position. So you can see I've lifted both of the dumbbells and they're remaining static relative to my head. So my arms are not swinging from side to side at all. Now, I wouldn't press the dumbbell into your head because that's going to compress the vertebrae in your neck. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding doing that. And as far as the posture is concerned, you can see that my knees are straight, my feet are wider than shoulder width, and my toes are pointing forward. This exercise is a reverse biceps curl into a front raise. So ultimately, no twisting of the wrist or minimal twist as much as possible. When you do the reverse biceps curl, try to keep your elbows static. Try not to let your elbows push out too wide. And then when you go into the pronated front raise, we're just looking at going from vertical arms to horizontal arms without any wrist rotation. Keep your knees soft, keep your hips nice and heavy, nice and still, and make sure you've got ample control on the way up as well as the way down. This exercise is a push-up with a shoulder touch. So go into some nice deep push-ups either on a bench or on the floor. And if you find push-ups difficult, you can always do it on your knees as well. But you can see I've got ample control and it's steady touches of the opposite shoulder. Try not to shorten your push-up if you can. Go nice and deep with it and try to keep your hips nice and square. This exercise is a Romanian deadlift into a calves raise. A fantastic posterior combination because we're pretty much working the entire posterior of your legs all the way to your lower back. Try and keep your back flat as you drop down into those Romanian deadlifts. Turn your dumbbells and push them in front of your shin and then elevate up by squeezing your glutes and working your way all the way up to a calves raise.
Well done everybody for getting through today's dumbbell flow workout. Now's a great time to stretch and cool down with our physio Daphne. Her stretching playlist is linked to the end of this video, so be sure to check it out. Alternatively, now's a great opportunity to accelerate body fat loss by doing around 20 minutes of mild cardio such as a brisk walk. Do it right now while your body is low in glucose energy to optimize fat loss results. I want to thank you guys for training with me, and I look forward to seeing you very soon for another result-driven and effective workout right here. Look after yourselves and each other.